What's up guys, Doomwake here. Welcome back to another video on the channel. We are going to be playing some Pioneer. As you can see here, before we continue, make sure to smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content, and last but not least, let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. So, as for those of you who may have seen the video that I posted a couple of days ago, taking a little bit of a break from Modern. Not the biggest fan of the format right now, but we're not talking about Modern today. We're talking about Pioneer. A format that I've actually been playing quite a bit of over the past couple of weeks at my LGS because they've swapped from Modern to Modern to Pioneer FNMs. So I've been playing a lot of that. I've been playing Burn. I've been playing Mono Red, Ascendancy. And those are mostly the decks that I have built in paper, but I am looking at building some other decks, and this is one that's on my radar. And this particular list is a list that I copied from, I think it was the top 32, maybe the top 16, but one of those from the most recent Pioneer Challenge. And what are we playing? We're playing a mono-white based artifact strategy around this new card that I have tried in Modern, but we're transitioning over here into Pioneer, Michiko's Reign of Truth. Really powerful card. It's very similar to Cranial Plating for those of you who've played that before. The first two chapters, your creature gets pumped for each artifact and enchantment. So it counts enchantments too, which is important because it counts itself. And then it flips into just a giant beat stick. So that's really cool. And then we're combining that with all that glitters. Very similar effect. It's an aura, so maybe more of a commitment because Michiko's gets to... It's not an aura, so you're not 2-for-1ing yourself if they have a removal spell. But with all the glitters, just more payoffs for having artifacts, because that's what this deck really needs, is a bunch of payoffs. So that's ways to pay you off for having a bunch of cheap artifacts. We have Ghostfire Blade, which is kind of another way to do that on a smaller scale. You're only giving your creature +2/+2. You equip for 1 mana, you equip to a colorless creature. But definitely a smaller scale with Ghostfire Blade. And then the rest of the deck is just... the other artifact payoff we have is Ingenious Smith, which I will say is not quite as good in this format because of the lack of Urza Saga, because Saga can put artifacts into play on your opponent's turn, which gives you 2 turn cycles worth of counters. So it's a little bit slower in Pioneer, but I think ultimately still worth playing. It's a good card for sure. And then the rest of the deck is just some mana. I'm sure you're used to Springleaf Drum and Ornithopter at this point. And then we got some removal spells with Portable Hole. We have Alseid of Life's Bounty, which is a cool card that can also protect your creature if you go for an All That Glitters. So say you cast All That Glitters, your opponent casts a removal spell, you sacrifice your Alseid to blank their removal spell, and bam, your All That Glitters is now resolved. So that's kind of cool. It gives you a little bit of protection. Bomat Courier and Gingerbrute are our cheap 1-mana artifact creatures. Also have haste, which is really important, especially with Reign of Truth, All That Glitters, and Ghostfire Blade, because you want, haste creatures so that you can kind of surprise your opponent with a lot of damage out of nowhere. And then we're also playing some red sources in the mana base to facilitate Bomat Courier. Even though we're a mono-white deck, they're kind of free roll lands that give us the ability to activate the Bomat Courier. And then a couple of Shadowspears down here. Not the best card without access to Saga, but you do still have Michikos and All That Glitters. Like, these are ways to make giant creatures, so might be... I think it's still worth playing Shadowspear. And you have Stonecoil Serpent. The really nice thing about Stonecoil is there's, a lot of removal that people play that it dodges. So people play Blood Tithe Harvester, gold card. Kolaghan's Command, gold card. Azorius Charm, gold card. There's a lot of cards that removal spells that people play that this thing just completely blanks. And the really nice thing about it is you get to fill any spot on the curve, whatever you're missing. And you don't feel bad about playing a 1 or 2 mana Stonecoil because you have 11 ways to pump it. So there's not as much of a feels bad when you're like, oh, play a 1 mana 1/1, and then you have nothing to do with it. This deck has a lot of ways to pump it up, so it's nice. Then the mana base, pretty straightforward. All planes with, again, our sort of free roll dual lanes to help Bomat Courier. Mutavault, very important in the blue-white control matchup, and also very good with Ghostfire Blade because it is a colorless creature. And then Eiganjo because, why not? It's free. Might as well play one copy. Sideboard, we got our Lurrus. We are, companioning Lurrus because Lurrus is a powerful card, and especially in this deck, we have a lot of powerful 2-mana plays to get back, so very, very good card. I don't need to talk about Lurrus. March of Otherworldly Light, a new addition as well. Very versatile removal spell. It's not the most mana efficient because if you're killing a 1-drop, you're spending 2 mana. If you're killing a 2-drop, you're spending 3 mana, so on and so forth. So you're not trading even on mana like you are with a card like Prismatic Ending, but it's versatile. It's an instant. If you have an extra white card, you're not going to pitch that often with this deck, but maybe it comes up if you're tight on mana. Couple Lion Sashes here for the graveyard decks. Hushbringer, which is mostly here for the Jund Mayhem, Devil-ish, like those kinds of decks. There's also some other matchups where it comes in, but that's mainly what it's here for. Glass Casket, very good, just good removal spell when you need access to more cheap removal. Cathar Commando, good in the mirror match if you're blowing up artifacts or enchantments. And then Deafening Silence here for Phoenix and Lotus Field. So, that's the deck. I'm really excited to play some Pioneer for you guys, and I hope you enjoy the content. Without further ado, let's get into some games. I will see you back here in just a little bit for round number 1. Let's battle. Round 1, Pioneer time. Reveal our opponent, our Lurrus, and we'll take a look and see what we got here. Unfortunately, no Urza Saga in this format, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it. This hand is not too bad. It's not the most powerful hand, but we don't have any of our payoffs like All That Glitters or Michiko's Reign of Truth or even Ghostfire Blade for that matter, but we do have Stonecoil, so I think I want to get this Bomat Courier going. I think that's where I'm going to start here, just to try and get as many cards underneath it as possible. We have a Jwari Ruins. Okay, it could be a control deck, not 100% sure. You have to forgive me, I haven't played too much Pioneer Online, so I'm not 100% familiar with the metagame, so this is more of a learning experience, as it were. So we'll go ahead and play our Mutavault. We will, I think, just kind of just dump some more stuff into play and then try to play this for 4 next turn. That's why I want to play the Drum this turn. But I'd like to attack for 2 rather than deploy the Shadowspear, and I want to play a big Serpent next turn. So next turn I can go tap this to play the Stonecoil, make it a 4/4, attack with the Bomat Courier, and kind of go from there. Okay, well, new plan. Let's cast that card. I'm gonna play my land first, because if this gets countered, I might fire up the Mutavault here. Okay, did not get countered. So I think what I might do is target the Gingerbrute. It's going to look awkward because I'm going to play the artifact after playing Michiko's Reign of Truth, but if they had a counterspell, I wanted to fire up the Mutavault there, so that's kind of why I chose to do it that way. But nice little 6-ball here. Next turn we get a second. This card is so powerful. Oh, we even tried this in Modern, and I think it's like potentially pretty good in Modern. Go ahead and target the Gingerbrute again. See what's up. I mean, I'm not gonna fire up the Mutavault because they're just gonna Field of Ruin it. So I guess they could Field of Ruin, untap Verdict, but then I get this thing in play. I mean, I don't want to fire up the Mutavault into the Field of Ruin, but I do want to play the Stone... what I should have done was, I should have played this as a red source. I don't know if it matters too much, but I want to play this for X=4 pre-combat to play around Jwari Disruption, so they can't force spike me. And I think... So I guess I should have targeted the Bomat Courier if I was going to play around Supreme Verdict this way. Oh no, but I can still attack with both and just make red crack the Bomat if they have Verdict, so it's not even that bad. Yeah, okay. So this way, attack with both, they take 7, they go to 4. Even if they Verdict me, I can still just float red here and then pop this for 4 cards. So we don't even care if they Verdict us. Don't really care. Because we'll be up 4 cards, we'll have a Michiko's that'll flip, and then we'll have access to Lurrus, obviously, as well, if we brick, so... It should be okay. But I have to imagine there's a Verdict in my future. Yeah, looks like we're getting Verdicted. I think that's okay, though. I don't even think it's that bad, especially if they have to Fountain. Because now they're dead to a Gingerbrute. Alright, we'll make red, sack our Bomat, and that's a Gingerbrute, and that will be lethal damage. Let's go ahead and equip the Shadowspear. Might as well cast the All That Glitters too, you never know. Even though there's no free spells in Pioneer, but that was a sweet game. So that was game number 1 against Blue-White Control. Moving on to the sideboard here. Silence seems bad. Commando, just as like a flash threat, seems not too terrible. Casket, no. Lion Sash, maybe. Hushbringer, no. March, I don't think so. I think Portable Hole is not particularly great. I think most of their permanents are, 3 and 4 mana, kind of planeswalkers and those type permanents. So I don't think I want portable holes. I definitely want these flash threats. It's a question of, do I want Lion Sash or just like a couple of portable holes as cheap artifacts that may or may not have targets? Like, I don't know if they play, what's the 2-mana saga? It's the one that searches for a plains, makes an 0/4, that kind of stuff. That could be okay if they have that card, so maybe I'll keep in 2 copies, because the rest of my options don't seem very good, but we'll go ahead and go with this. Michiko's Reign of Truth showing its true power. Ooh. This hand seems particularly good because we have a Mutavault, a Michiko's, some mana acceleration, 2 Smiths, which I think are pretty important in this kind of grindy-ish matchup. Question is, do I lead on Bomat? Either way, if I play Smith on turn 2, I get disrupted, so I think I'd rather just have the Bomat kind of ticking away. And then potentially, like, they're going to hold up their 2-mana counterspell. Oh, they're not. Okay. Alright, I'm fine with that, because now I get to resolve Smith. And the next turn we can even go Drum into a second Smith. I guess I'll take Stonecoil. It's not the best against Supreme Verdict and Seal Away, but I still think it's my best option. What's this? They're main phasing Field of Ruin. That's interesting. I guess they might think that I'm playing with Shrapnel Blast, because there are versions of this deck that do play red cards. Okay, so I want to go Smith into Drum, I think. So we'll go Smith first. Trigger. We'll take a Blade. And now we get to go Drum, pump the Jam, and then I think just play Blade and then attack for 2 rather than play the second Drum, because I could have gone Drum into Blade, but I also kind of want to save artifacts in my hand to trigger these. I didn't really care if they Verdict me, like I got my cards out of these, so second Field of Ruin. Moderately annoying, but shouldn't be too bad. So representing Seal Away, that was an incredible draw step. So now we get to go... guess it's a bit awkward if they do have a Supreme Verdict to follow up, because we're kind of putting all of our eggs into one basket here. I guess I could choose to not commit the Stonecoil Serpent, but I think I want to play the Alseid here to play around Seal Away. But I think I'm going to choose to not play the... I think I'm going to choose to not play the Stonecoil. So pump up one of these. Attack for 11. Didn't have mana to equip the Blade. And then hopefully they don't have Verdict. I think they do, but maybe they don't. No, they just conceded. All right, so that was round number 1. You know, I think even in that spot, if they had Verdict, we had a follow-up of this. We have this to follow up. So, like, this deck, and you have Lurrus, too. So I think this deck is actually pretty good against Supreme Verdict. So if you got any blue-white decks that are giving you trouble, maybe this is a good choice. So that was round number 1. We'll be back here in just a bit for round number 2. Round 2, let's go. Want to know Pioneer Mono White Artifacts. This deck's sweet. Okay. Well, it looks like a 1-lander, but we do have Drum, so I can go turn 1 Mutavault Drum, turn 2 Bomat Courier Alseid, and then have 2 mana sources with 2 blades. I think it's good enough. I could be wrong on this hand, but I think this hand is just about good enough. Think of the way that I look at Springleaf Drum, it's kind of like an enter the battlefield tap land, you know? So it's like a 2-lander, but essentially your first land comes into play tap because you have to spend a mana to use the Drum. That's the way that I look at it. So it is a 2-lander. It's not the best 2-lander, but I think it's fine. Okay, drew a land, which is good. So we can lead on... I still have to lead on Bomat in order to play the Alseid, so let's go Bomat, play the Mutavault, play the Alseid, and then play the Ghostfire Blade. And we can kind of just chill. And we can do some stuff next turn. Obviously no attacks here. It does feel kind of awkward to tap the Bomat Courier, but I needed to play the Bomat in order to generate white mana, so... It's going to be pretty awkward if they kill both of my creatures, because then my drum is offline, and I have no white mana to play the Alseid. So that might be a little tough. Unless we draw a white source, but... So Flame Blast Bolt, unfortunately, exiles, which means I can't buy it back with Lurrus. All that glitters. A little bit risky to go for here, obviously. So, what if I... Oh, this is 3 to equip, okay. Okay, what if I just go play a second Alseid, and then play a Ghostfire Blade, and then we can try to go for all the glitters next turn, potentially, when I have the protection up. I don't want to just jam it into... Also, the awkward part about going for it there is I would have to tap the creature that I've been chanting, which is obviously not something I want to do. I don't want to tap my creature, pump it, you know, +4/+4, and then just not attack with it, so... Be a little bit awkward. Yeah, maybe the mana was just too awkward in this hand, because I had Mutavault was my only land, essentially. So maybe it was just too awkward to keep a hand like this. Okay, so... I think I just lead on all that glitters. Because I do think I have to pressure my opponent here, now that they have... This is kind of like a ticking time bomb, essentially. But if they have a removal spell, I can just sack this Alseid. Alright, so auto yield to the thing. They're essentially trading Impulse for that, which is fine. Give it protection from red, so it doesn't die. Fiery Impulse gets countered, all the glitters resolves, and I guess we'll battle for 6. Not in love with our position here, though. Once this thing flips, it's going to be pretty hard for us to win, so... I don't know if there was necessarily a different line I could have taken this game, outside of obviously mulliganing my opening hand. But I thought the hand was pretty close. Let me know in the comments. Would you have kept that hand? Chose to play their land first, which I guess makes sense if they're trying to hit 2 red spells. No, because they could just play the Pathway as a red source, so... I think they maybe shouldn't have played their land, but I don't know if it's going to matter. They play 2 1-mana spells here. I think I'm cooked. I don't think there's much coming back from that. But if they don't, and I maybe rip a Portable Hole, could play a Serpent for 2, play Portable Hole, kill the thing. Portable Hole is really important in this matchup because Thing in the Ice is pretty tough to beat. Okay, they exiled Pathway, which means I don't think they have 2 1-mana spells. Unless they had Consider in their hand. Why didn't they just play Consider first? Alright, well, that's going to be tough. Now they have a 7/8. We pretty much have to draw Portable Hole. This card is so sick. Oh, they had a Phoenix too. So we go to 16. Portable Hole? No. Alright, I don't think we have any outs. I guess we had one more draw step, but we weren't going to get there. Okay, so Deafening Silence pretty good against Phoenix, because they're trying to cast multiple spells in a turn for Thing and Phoenix. Cathar Commando, no good. Glass Casket does kill Thing in the Ice, but it doesn't kill Arclight Phoenix. Same with Portable Hole, but like, do I want 7 cards on my deck that only kill Thing in the Ice? Probably not. Hushbringer is bad. Lion Sash is quite good. And again, March of the Otherworldly Light, similar to... It's like, it's a question of how many removal spells for Thing in the Ice do you want in your deck? And I think the answer is probably not more than 4, because they're not good against anything else in their deck. And I think Portable Hole is an artifact and just the most efficient one. I don't really think we need Shadowspear in a matchup like this. I mean, the first copy is okay to get over Phoenixes, but in general, I'm not a huge fan. I feel like Ghostfire Blade is a card we can potentially cut. I'm not in love with it. I guess Stonecoil Serpent's also not the best against Lightning Axe, because even if you played for 5 mana, you just trade for 1 mana of their Lightning Axe. So maybe that's actually the card I should be cutting in this matchup, because it's just 2 mana inefficient to trade with a Lightning Axe when you're paying 3 or 4 mana for this thing, and they just pay 1 mana to kill it, so we'll go with this. Alright, so here's my Lurrus. We got a 2-lander this time, and a drum. I mean, this hand has no payoff, but I think it's good. I'm going to play the Eiganjo first, because dealing 4 to an attacker is never going to come up, and I might want to play this as a red source. So I think I'm going to lead on Bomat this game, just to get the ball rolling on that, so to speak. And then next turn, I think I'll probably go Drum, Alseid, second Bomat. It's going to be a little rough if they have Anger of the Gods, but... Okay, let's... I'm going to try and hide the fact that I have a red source to maybe make them less likely to kill the Bomats. So let's go Springleaf Drum, which they may or may not respond and kill the Bomat. They don't. Okay, Alseid. So I think because they did that, I'm not going to put them on having a 1-mana removal spell here, because I think they would have killed the Bomat in response to the Drum, unless they thought that was bait, but... So we'll do this and just kind of pray to, I guess, the gods that they don't have the Anger of the Gods. Oh, they have Lightning Axe, okay. Sure. Discard land. Not discarding Phoenix, that's good for us. So hopefully we can find one of our payoff cards. If not, we'll just be relegated to picking up Lurrus, I guess. Okay, that we have an answer to. That's good. And there's payoff. So we'll go red source. Now the question is, do I want to attack with the Alseid, or do I want to hold up the Bomat activation? I don't really care about my life total that much, because obviously I could pump up the Alseid to gain an additional amount of life, but I think it's actually more important to hold up the Bomat. And I want to get the extra card under it, which is why I'm pumping up the Bomat. But I do think this is more important, because it not only gives me my protection with the Alseid, it also gives me the ability to just sack the Bomat, so... That I don't particularly care about. And it doesn't really change the clock, because it would have been 1 additional damage, putting them to 9, and the next turn it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Even a Gingerbrute wouldn't be lethal. I guess it makes a Ghostfire Blade lethal. So missing the 1 point is really bad if I draw exactly Ghostfire Blade. Alright, well now I can pump the Alseid, because I can attack with both, right? Oh, because I want to pick up Lurrus, though. So I think we're going to do the same thing. This is kind of awkward, though. Because if I don't attack with the Alseid... I guess I don't have lethal next turn anyways, right? 7. So I guess had I attacked with the Alseid, then it would have been at 9. Then this turn I'd be attacking for 7, which puts them to 2, and then this is lethal. But I think given the line that I've taken, it's more important to just pick up Lurrus here. So let's do that. I don't know, maybe this line is bad. Alright, your turn. Not sure, because I essentially missed out on 2 damage there. But I gave myself the ability to sacrifice the Bomat, which I thought was pretty important when I was empty-handed, but I guess I still would have had the Lurrus either way. Lightning Axe. So I guess now the question is, do I lose my Lurrus? No, I think I just protect it. I think I just protect the Bomat. Which they might have another removal spell, but... Alright, looks like they don't. I guess that's the downside to picking up Lurrus, huh? Is now I kind of pigeonholed myself in the sense that I don't want to discard the Lurrus to the Bomat. Because I just want to get the Lurrus into play. Okay, this is fine. They're gonna make a Phoenix. That's totally fine with me. Because now I can just go Lurrus, replay the Alseid. Alright, so Michiko's flips into a big doofus. I can even play the second drum. So let's go drum, Lurrus, and then we'll play the Alseid. Because I'm not going to attack this turn. I think I'd rather just get the Alseid into play. And then even if they Anger of the Gods me, my Michiko still actually lives. Because I have 4 things that are pumping it. So, like, itself stays in play, and then I have 3 others. So Anger still doesn't beat me. This could be the Time Block, maybe? Yeah, this looks like it's Temporal Trespass. Okay, that's fine. So I get plucked for 3, and then they take a turn, but they only have 1 card in hand, so... An island? What do we got? What do we got? It's a lot of mana. I'm scared. Hard Gas Lightning Axe on the Bomat. So, dead on board? Alright. Game number 3. I think I like the way I sideboarded. I do think Stonecoil is the most mana inefficient card, especially against Lightning Axe, which they definitely have 4 copies of. And I don't really want any of these other cards, so we'll just go to game 3. This deck's pretty sweet. Doesn't have a ton of payoff, I guess would be my one... I don't want to go to the dungeon. It would be my one critique of the deck. Is like, in Modern you have, you know, all of this stuff plus Saga, and there's no Saga. But I guess Smith is kind of a payoff. I think this hand's good. This hand might just be a turn 1 double Thopter, turn 2 Michiko's kind of hand. Or I could go turn 2 Smith. Might be better to Smith here. I'm going to still run out one of the Ornithopters, just in case I decide to change my mind and play the Michikos. There's no point in playing the second one, obviously, but... I mean, there is downside to playing the first one, because I might need this. I might need both of them to trigger the Smiths, but hopefully I just find something off the Smith. Wait, really? They're just firing off Iteration on turn 2? Not usually the best play. I don't know what they're looking for, but... They're not looking for lands because they've been to Hall, so... Okay, interesting. I think I'm going to play the Smith here. I want to get a little bit more out of the Michikos. So I can actually go Smith Thopter here, and then next turn Gingerbrute Michikos to trigger the Smith again. And I'm going to take a Portable Hole in case they have Thing in the Ice. Go ahead and get our value Ornithopter attack. Always attack with the Ornithopter. If you're playing with Ornithopter, always attack your opponent. You just gotta show them what's up, you know? You gotta show them that you mean business. Alright, if they anger me, annoying, but I have a good follow-up, right? I can go Smith into Brute, so it's not that bad. Pieces of the puzzle. Okay. Chart, Thing, Iteration. I can't take Thing. A bunch of cantrips. Which 2 do they want? They put Chart and Opt in their hand. Okay. So they certainly could have Anger of the Gods in their hand, which is something we have to consider. Which means I'm 100% playing the Michiko's Reign of Truth here. It's a question of what other 1-mana card do I want to play. And I think I'm going to hold back the Gingerbrute to, again, play around Anger of the Gods, so I have a somewhat of a decent follow-up. So let's go Ghostfire Blade, which pumps the Smith, and then I'll Michiko's one of the Ornithopters. Alright, pump up the Ornithopter. I wish this thing... attack for 7. Oh, I forgot to say Ornithopter, my bad. I wish this pumped through their turn as well, because then my Ornithopter would be safe from the anger. And in that case, I might have pumped this, but unfortunately, it does not pump. It goes until the end of your turn, not until the end of their turn. All right. Unfortunately, they did have the anger, which makes my Michiko's quite a bit worse, but they shocked. Interesting. Okay, well, I changed my mind. I'm actually just going to go Smith Brute. If they shocked here, they definitely have a removal spell, which means I don't really want to spend my turn equipping the Blade. Sure, that's fine. They have 5 cards in hand. I think I'm going to pick up a Bomat here, so I can get that going. Attack for 1, they go to 8. Next turn I can go second Blade, potentially double equip. Depending on what they do. Alright, Chart a Course, which we knew about. Discard Phoenix. They have an Opt left. Expressive Iteration. Okay. Found an island, which will allow them to cast the Opt, which gets back the Phoenix. Only 1 Phoenix, though, which is good. We're not in danger of a double Phoenix turn. And they don't hold back. I don't think Michiko's is lethal, but a little bit short. Okay, so we get to go... I think we get to go Drum, Blade, double equip. We just have 2 giant idiots. Yep, Blade here. Unfortunately, both of which still died to Lightning Axe. God, Lightning Axe is so good. But now they're at 3, right? And then we have essentially 3 lethal creatures, because I can just move the Blade over to the Gingerbrute, so... I mean, they have 7 cards in their hand, but I do have 3 lethal creatures. And they're still casting cantrips. Okay, they have a second Phoenix. That's fine. That might just end up being a chump blocker, depending on the situation. The Gingerbrute also can just... obviously, well, actually, funnily enough, Arclight Phoenix can still block Gingerbrute after you activate the ability, so... not the most relevant ability against Phoenix, specifically. Let's see if they... looks like they might have the Trespass. Which... that could be a little dicey. Okay, they have Cruise. And they've already played their land, so they can't Trespass. Definitely worth noting. And the only removal spell they can really cast right now is Axe. Now, obviously, that changes if they pass the turn, okay? So what? So they're gonna Axe, and then probably pass with 2 Phoenixes up, because don't they know about the Brute? They don't know about the Brute, but they're still gonna pass, which makes sense. Oh. Oh, I don't have enough mana, right? I don't have 4 mana to be able to go Brute double equip. Well, play 2 Brutes and equip both, I should say. It's unfortunate. I need 1 more mana and they would be dead. Well, I can go Brute, double equip, but then I'm tapping my Portrait, and then they just block both of them anyways. Is there any way I can make a lethal attack? So I have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Portable Hole doesn't kill Phoenix. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to make sure I'm not missing something here. Right, Gingerbrute. Tap, equip. Again, activated ability doesn't do anything because these have haste. So I think at that point it's just better to just suit up the Brute. And then make them double chump block. I have to equip both, because if I don't equip both, they can just trade for the Brute, and I don't want that to happen, so... yeah, 1 mana short. 1 mana short. And these things having haste is really annoying. Yeah, because if I play 2 Brutes, then I have to tap this to equip both the Blades, which doesn't do anything, because they just block both the Gingerbrutes with the Phoenixes. Rough stuff. Oh. That's not good. That probably means Temporal Trespass. It's not lethal, because they only have 2 Phoenixes right now. Oh no, it is lethal because they get if they have a spell, which I assume they do. Yeah, because they get the first attack here and then 2 more. Oh, they didn't have a third spell in their 4-card hand? Holy crap. They have a second trespass, though. That might be good enough. Wait, they put trespass into their graveyard? I'm confused. Why didn't they just take the trespass? Am I missing something? Couldn't they have just trespassed and then taken 2 additional turns? Unless they had a third trespass in hand. Right, they had enough cards in their graveyard, I think, to not get rid of the Phoenixes. Okay. They're going to kill the Gingerbrute, but this thing still lives. Okay, 2 Phoenixes, yeah. Take 6, they get 1 more turn. Right? I think this is their last turn. Consider is fine. What we got? Cruising. We going cruising. Okay. Unless I'm missing something, they don't have 1 extra turn, though. Apparently, Fancy Thick plays Doomwake. That's kind of weird. Top 10 anime betrayals. Okay, that's 9 damage. You got a shock? Dead to a shock. I mean, they're almost certainly going to leave back 2 creatures, right? Because they know they don't know about the Gingerbrute, but they're not going to just die to a haste creature. So we need to draw like a Shadowspear here. It is not a Shadowspear. Well, we're going to do the same thing as we did last turn, and be kind of sad. Be very, very sad. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I missed lethal here, but I don't think I did. Let me know in the comments. I'm sure y'all are just yelling at the screen. Oh, you missed lethal! I don't know, I feel like I should have been able to kill them. But, God, I'm so close. So close. Thing in the ice, okay. Do they really have no more spells? Oh my god. Alright, portable hole. No way. No way. No way. How did I win that game? I think I'm like 99% sure I was just dead if they took the other temporal trespass, so I don't know what that was about, but what a game. Round 2 in the book, 2-0. See you back here in just a little bit. Round number 3. It's time for round 3. Let's keep it going. We are 2-0 after that insane round number 2. What do we have here for our opening hand? Well, we only have 1 creature and 4 mana sources and 2 Ghostfire Blades. I think this one is not quite gonna do it. I mean, hypothetically, I could go turn 1 Drum, turn 2 1/1 Stonecoil Blade, turn 3 Blade double equip, but I'm playing a 1/1 Serpent. I don't think it's quite good enough. And, this hand is all the payoff and none of the creatures. I mean, I guess I have a Mutavault. I kind of want to keep this hand and just hope to find creatures. I think I'm going to put back the second Glitters, because the first one's already pretty bad. Looks like Blue-White Control again, maybe? This hand is exceptionally bad against Blue-White Control. This might be a rough one. Yeah, this is going to be a rough one. Well, good draw, unless we get 4 spiked. Did not get Jwari, that's good. Creatures? Creatures? No creatures? Darn it. I mean, I don't think Shadowspear is relevant at all in this matchup, so I guess I'll take a Drum, but... And then next turn we're probably going to go Drum Michikos. So let's play this as a white source. We'll play our Drum. Auto yield to this. Play our Michikos, and hopefully they don't have a counterspell. They don't. It's good. Smash for 4. always, when you're playing with Michikos and Mutavault, you want to make sure you have a stop on your upkeep and or draw step, because you want to be able to activate the Mutavault before the Michikos triggers. So it's something very important to think about here. So we know we're drawing Ingenious Smith. Do you want to just give up the second activation or the second chapter on Michikos to play the Smith here? It's really close. I think it might just be better to go Smith into All That Glitters. Yeah, I think I like that better. So let's play Smith. I guess this is a lot worse if they have a counterspell for Smith, which they don't. That's good. Take a Stonecoil. Yeah, I'm just going to shove All That Glitters here. It's the best time for me to resolve this card, because they don't have a counterspell. If they had a counterspell, they would have countered this, so... Yeah, I mean, you know, we could get 2 for 1. Also, they had this up too, which was up. Yeah, that was definitely the reason. I totally saw that. Yes, we did not go for the Mutavault. That was probably a good reason to not go for the Mutavault. This looks like Big Tef. All right, we need a haste creature because they're gonna tuck this. Haste creature, please. We have 7 of them. All right, don't need this anymore. Haste creature. Darn it. Well, I probably have to just play a giant Stonecoil and kind of hope it works out. I guess I could have picked up Lurrus there, which maybe would have been better. I kind of feel like this game's already over, but we shall see. It's really tough when your opponent untaps with Teferi. So we can Michikos. We kind of just have to jam here, right? I guess there's no point in casting Michikos if I'm just going to attack Teferi anyways, so... I guess I'll just fire up Mutavault and send everything at Tef. Kind of hope that works out. Because we know they have March. If I send 2 at Tef and 1 at Narset and they have another removal spell, it's really bad for me, because Tef needs to leave the battlefield. Teferi is much more important to get off the battlefield than Narset, in my opinion. And then I think post-combat... I guess I'll just play a Stonecoil Serpent. I can't really play around Wrath this game, right? No, I don't think so. Guess I'll play another Drum too, why not? I gotta try and beat the board. I don't think I can afford to play around Wrath. And by beat the board, I mean kill them as quickly as possible. Like, yeah, it sucks if they have Wrath, but okay, I don't really care about that. Alright, they have March, which I assume they're gonna Gastier. They really gonna hold it? There's no way they hold it, right? Alright, dead. Dead. What else we got? March of Otherworldly Light. Okay. Can take out the Michikos. Notably, they still have to pay 3 mana. This is a 2 mana permanent, even face down. Or I guess, well, whatever face it's on right now. You get the idea. Costs 2 mana. Second copy of Teferi, huh? Alrighty. Seems pretty good, if you ask me. Alright, let's play Smith. Guess I'll get Gingerbrute. Play Gingerbrute. Trigger the Smith. Play Michikos. Not quite enough to kill the Teferi, because this is going to become a 4/4, and then I'll pump the Gingerbrute, which is 2 attackers at Teferi. But even if I could put 1 more artifact, they would still just be able to march whatever I target anyways. So, like, I know I could target the Michikos, but they still have 3 mana here. So this at least, like, kind of forces them... I guess forces them to kill the Ginger... I don't know. It ends up kind of being the same thing. Well, I want them to kill this instead, because then getting to keep this around, I think, is a little bit better. Plus, if I target this, then they just kill this and Tef takes 1, so that doesn't make any sense. So at least this way, I get 3 damage on Teferi, which maybe helps, but, I mean, they have 5 cards, so... Alright, looks like they did choose to fire off the March, so Teferi takes 3, and move on with their turn. They're going to plus Tef, which makes sense. Alright, played a land and passed. I am going to target... I guess I actually messed up. I didn't have my upkeep stop. I should have fired up the Mutavault to my upkeep. Yep, that's gonna be a punishment. Although I guess they have the Hall anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Because I can only get this to a 6/6. 4, 5, 6. So I have to suicide a creature to kill Teferi, which I think I have to do. Yeah, so let's go... Send both at Teferi. Then we can pick up Lurrus. Pick up Lurrus post-combat. Again, I feel like this game is going to be too hard to win, but we'll see. March of Otherworldly Light, right? March number 3. What else we got? Okay. I did not mean to do that, but it's fine. Alright. Your go, opponent. Right, Field of Ruin gonna fire off a Mutavault. And we'll take a Plains. Alright, so that comes back. I'm just going to cast Lurrus. I think if Lurrus gets countered, I'm going to concede, because opponent's playing a little bit slow, and we're super dead, so... Alright, moving on. So, same thing as last time, I want these Cathar Commandos. And I think I just decided to cut the portable holes. What else did we do? I think we just had a couple Lion Sashes. Was that it? Or did we keep it a couple portable holes? I think we had a couple portable holes. Let's try that. All right, game number 2, blue-white control. What do we got? We got a land, a drum, a thopter. I'm in. Sand is okay. So we get to go drum, thopter. I think I'm just going to play the other drum. Is that better? I think it's better because then I can just kind of do some Stonecoil stuff next turn, like play a 1-mana Stonecoil, play a Ghostfire Blade, and then potentially equip. We'll see what happens. It's also better if I draw another Thopter, because then I could play a 3-mana Stonecoil. Okay, that one's kind of awkward. So I think I'm just going to go 2-mana Stonecoil and Ghostfire Blade. And then I think this is as much as I'm going to commit to a Wrath. Next turn we could potentially go... If we find a land... I guess it's still kind of awkward because we have to throw all of our eggs in one basket, which is kind of bad if they have Seal Away, so... Not the best. What's this? Portable hole probably on... Yep, that makes sense. Play a tap land. Okay. Wouldn't mind drawing a land here. Bomat Courier. Guess I can just go Bomat Equip. I don't want to play Michiko's because I'm not getting any value off of it, so... Yeah, I guess we'll just go Bomat Equip. I don't want to play on 1-mana Stonecoil. It seems kind of like a bad use of my resources. Not the best draw. Definitely not the best draw. Possible I should have mulliganed, for sure. I mean... I guess I play Michiko's. Then be very sad when they Azorius Charm me. But no matter what, I'm gonna basically lose in the spot to Azorius Charm no matter what I do, so... Doesn't really matter whether I cast the Michikos or the All the Glitters. Alright, show me the charm. Maybe they don't have it? Oh, they do. Okay. I guess we at least get to hit them with the Thopter Michikos. Maybe. March of Otherworldly Light on Michikos. Okay, I guess we just Bomat equip like we did the last time. Attack for 3. It's probably not going to be good enough, but yeah, I mean, this matchup is probably really bad. I mean, I think we got pretty lucky the first time we played against it, but I don't know. Getting verdicted? Yeah. Guess we'll play it out. I mean, I got a 4/4 that they can't target with Teferi, but they can target with Portable Hole and March, so yeah, that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough. Yeah, Field of Ruin for the Mutavault 2. Alright, play land. What do we draw? Ornithopter, huh? Alright. Lurrus it is. I think that's better than equipping the Aldic Glitters that turn, obviously. Not that Lurrus is ever going to resolve, but, you know, here we are. Might as well cast it. Counter spell. Alright, equip the Ornithopter, ship the turn. I mean, they only got 2 cards. You say if they play a dig, I'll concede, but they only got 2 cards, right? Copium? That sounds like some pretty big copium there. They only have 2 cards. Okay, they're at 14. I think my best play is just Gingerbrute and shove the All That Glitters. Just kind of go all in here. I'm equipping the Gingerbrute because I think if they have a removal spell for the Gingerbrute, I get more damage in with the Thopter, so I think it's fine this way. Obviously attacking. If I get settled, I get settled. Could have a million different things, but again, like you can't really play around stuff when you have all the glitters, unless you have the what's the Alseid card. But all right, they had March, and are we taking 2? Are we taking 2? I mean, we have Mutavault Ghostfire Blade, so I guess. Sori's Jar, okay. Alright, they got 2 cards now. I'll take probably 1 draw step. Unless they have an answer for this Mutavault, and then I'll just snap concede, but alright. Attack your Teferi. I should have moved the Ghostfire Blade. I was just kind of lazy. But I definitely should have moved it. What's this? A Baneslayer Angel? Yeah, I can't beat that one. Alright, 2-1. Round number 4. We'll see you back here in just a little bit. Alright, everybody, round number 4. We took a pretty rough loss to Blue Eye Control last round, but we'll turn it around. We shall turn it around. We got a 1-lander. This time we don't have a Springleaf Drum, so I'm definitely not going to keep this hand. Alright, and flip that into a no-lander, so that's unfortunate. We'll go ahead and go to 5 here after our opponent chooses their mulligan decision. They're also on a Lurrus deck, smart. And how's this hand look? It's not great, but I think it's better than going to 4, so we're going to go ahead and keep it. I'm going to keep land, Thopter, Michiko. Actually, there's no point in keeping a Thopter, right? Thopters don't actually do anything in this hand, I guess, other than pump the Smith. But so does the Shadowspear, assuming I draw land. I think I'm going to put back the 2 Thopters. I'm going to play this as a white land, we'll play a Bomat, smash for 1. One of my favorite cards of all time, and it feels really good that this card is like... It's awesome that this card is good in Pioneer, basically, is where I'm getting at. Ooh. This is probably the Rakdos Oni, whatever that Anvil card is called. Fatal Push. I don't like that. I'm actually gonna save my Shadowspear to pump the Smith. What's this? Croxa? Blood Tithe Harvester. Okay. I guess I'll play that for one, because they can't kill it with the Harvesters, so... maybe. Also, having something in play for the Michikos is pretty important. Thoughtseize. Alright, probably going to take Michikos, maybe? Yeah, that makes sense. It's kind of rough mulling to 5 against the Thoughtseize deck, obviously. Voltage Surge, second artifact. Okay, so it's just 2 damage. Sure. Land. Land. Yeah, I'll still save the Shadowspear. Not looking great for our hero. Because now they just get to pick up Lurrus. Didn't even pick up Lurrus, huh? That's how good their hand is. What's this? Deadly Dispute. Draw some cards, make some treasure. What do we got? Picking up Lurrus now. 4 mana. Oh, right. Yeah, just do that. So I go to 7. Yeah, I'm going to have an outs. Alright, let's try not to mull to 5 against the mid-range deck, huh? So Silence is bad. Commando, I think, is bad. Casket is okay. Hushbringer stops. Not really that much. I don't think Hushbringer is for this matchup. Lion Sash does seem good. Again, I almost... No, I was going to say I want to cut the Stonecoils, but... I think I'd rather... This is going to sound weird, but I kind of want to try cutting Gingerbrute. Because at least Stonecoil gets around Harvester and Kolaghan's Command. So it's like, if you can play a 3-3 or a 4-4 Serpent, I guess they still have that stupid shock that they can second artifact. Alright. I'm gonna try this again. I don't know if this is what I should be doing, is cutting Stonecoil, but like against Fatal Push, it does not seem that good. So that's where my head's at. Alright, we got a 1-lander with 3 All That Glitters. These hands are just not functional at all. Okay, kind of a functional hand. I'm gonna put back the second portable hole. And then I can go turn 1 Thopter Blade, turn 2 Smith. Actually, if I'm gonna play Smith on 2 and not equip, there's really no point in playing the Thopter here. I'm just gonna play Blade on 1 and then I can go Smith Thopter on 2 to get a trigger. So let's go White Land, Blade, pass. Yeah, I guess if they have Thoughtseize, not playing the Thopter is worse, because they're obviously going to take the Smith, so yeah, I guess I got kind of punished that way, but... My line, I think, is a little bit better if they don't have the Thoughtseize. Oh my god, Ultra Punished too. Ultra Punished. Ugh, that's rough. Yeah, maybe the one counter on Smith is just not relevant enough to not play the Thopter, because I get super duper punished when I draw the Michikos. Well, I don't know why they're main facing Fatal Push, but oh god. Gross. Well, if they tap out, I can upkeep fire up the Mutavault, so that's good. Okay. I'm going to get a little risky here, and I am going to fire up the Mutavault upkeep and just hopefully draw land for the portable hole. Bricked on land, which kind of sucks, but... Take 4, they go to 14. Notably, they can only use this at sorcery speed, so... But yeah, we could have dealt them 4 more damage had I played the Thopter on turn 1. So, be a little unfortunate if I lost this game by 4 damage. But, you know, I don't know. I kind of had my reasons. I'm not going to fire up my Mutavault into open man, obviously. That's why I didn't fire it up upkeep there. Am I just going to play Eiganjo and just equip and see what's up? Seems like not the best play, but what else am I doing? I guess I could pick up Lurrus. I kind of feel like I'd rather just equip. I know this play seems really weird, but because it's so likely to die. So I'm like time walking myself here, which maybe means I'm supposed to just pick up Lurrus. Oh, come on. Forgot they played this card too. Yeah, this card is hard for this deck to beat, so yeah. Synthesizer into Thoughtseize. I guess I'm sort of glad that I didn't pick up the Lurrus, but this can also kill the Lurrus, worth noting. They have 2 cards. They have 1 card. Yeah, this is not the best showing. Not the best showing for this deck. I mean, we started off this league really well, but man, we have gotten destroyed the last 2 rounds, so maybe this deck's a scam? I don't know. Yeah, alright, we'll move on. Round number 5. See you in a minute. Well, YouTube, here we are. We started out this league so well, but we have taken 2 unfortunate losses in a row, so let's turn it around. We can do it. This hand is actually pretty good, so this is the first hand that we've had in a while that has lands and spells. Who'd have thought that those were good to have both of those in your opening hand? I know, crazy thought. Question is, do I want to play the Thopter on 1? It's only good if they just like randomly fire off a removal spell on turn 1 on the Bomat, but maybe it's worth it. I'm not losing a ton by playing it, because like I'm just going to play Michiko's next turn anyways. And also, maybe if they kill the Bomat with like a sorcery speed, I don't know, maybe some people are playing like Pillar of Flame. I don't know, there's like, I guess Portable Hole is a good reason to play the Thopter, right? Yeah, that's a good reason. Portable Hole is the best reason to play the Thopter. That is a commonly played card, so. Uh-oh. Lotus combo. Let's hope we can kill him fast. I don't know how fast this hand kills, but it's probably looking like a turn 4 type of kill. If we get a little lucky, maybe. Is that fast enough? We'll see. Alright, they put a card on the bottom with their Temple. What's our best draw here? I don't know. Probably just another Michiko's. Alright, we drew a Stonecoil Serpent. Alright, well, I'm just going to play the Michiko's. I think. Yeah, I'm going to play Michiko's. Got to get our beatdowns on. Get our beatdowns a-rollin'. So we attack for 4 this turn, attack for another 4, maybe 6 next turn if we play the Stonecoil for 1. Maybe it's better to go 4 next turn, 4 turn after, 4, 7, 9. I don't know if that's better. Hopefully, they're holding up mana. I don't know if they play any instants, but alright, new plan. New plan acquired. I think I'm still going to play the Stonecoil for 1, because it's better if I draw another payoff, and I think I'd rather have the extra creature in play, because I don't plan on equipping the Shadowspear next turn. Maybe I'm supposed to play the Glitters first in case they have Jwari Disruption. That's a card that they could have. It is definitely a card they could have, so I should have played this first. Alright. It resolved. I will attack you for 9 damage. And they go to 6. I don't think they can kill me on turn 3, so we should be fine. This is probably the point in the video where I might pause it for a little bit and maybe go grab a snack, because they're probably going to try and combo off. I don't think they can, but anyways, I'll fast forward the video. Alright, well, there wasn't much to fast forward. They didn't even try. So, up a game against the Lotus Field combination deck. So, Deafening Silence, definitely good. Cathar Commando, brick. Casket, brick. I think all these are kind of bricks. I'm going to pull up a recent deck list just so I'm familiarized with exactly what they're playing. I don't know what, like, non-land permanents they play. Hidden Strings. I'll just pull up a recent list. I'm not going to go too deep here. Grazer, Vizier, and then a whole pile of spells. And they have Wilt in the sideboard, but they just don't have any permanents outside of Grazer. I mean, it still could be important to keep Portable Hole in for Grazer, because Grazer Chump Block could represent, like, an entire turn off the clock, so I think I'm going to cut Shadowspear, because Shadowspear is kind of good against Grazer, but I'd rather have Portable Hole because it's more mana efficient. And the thing about Shadowspear is, yes, it's technically not dead when they don't have Grazer, but is it really? Because it's 3 mana to give your creature +1/+1. That's not going to change the clock that much, so we'll just go with this. Alright, back here for game number 2. Up a game against Lotus Field. And, looks fine to me. We get to go turn 1 Silence, turn 2 2/2 Stonecoil, turn 3 Michiko's Reign of Truth, and, just kind of go. It's kind of awkward that we can't play the Ghostfire Blade and the Deafening Silence on 3. I wonder, maybe I should hold the Silence. Because I could just go turn 1 Blade. Or actually, what if I go turn 1 Stonecoil, turn 2 Michiko's, turn 3 Blade, Silence, and Equip? That might actually be the best line. Because I don't need to get this into play in the first couple of turns, because the first 3 turns for their deck is all set up anyways. I think that's actually my best line. I think I'm going to do it that way. And also, slow rolling the Silence is pretty good, especially if they have Wilt. Ooh. So let's go Needleverge. Yeah, we're going to lead on Stonecoil. I think I like this line a lot more. Then we get to go turn 2, play Michiko's, attack for 3. Turn 3, again, Blade into Silence, into Equip, attack for 5. And then the turn after, we have a 3/3, plus all the glitters, still have a Silence in play, plus this is a threat. Yeah, this is, I think this is the best way to set it up. I guess I could also jam all the glitters here. Which actually, what if I just go glitters into Silence plus glitters, or glitters plus Silence next turn? Maybe that's actually just better. Let's do it that way. Because the cool thing about this line is we're not ever going to be susceptible to Anger of the Gods, because that's a card they usually bring in. I guess we're going to be susceptible to a Disenchant, but I mean, also, there's a good chance they just disenchant the Silence and we lose anyways, so I think this is fine. Assume they got Lotus Field, right? Yeah, they got Field. So this turn is likely just going to cast Lotus Field. Ooh, do they have a bounce spell? They might. They're floating mana. This could just be, what's that card called that they play? Shimmering something. Look at the top cards. I don't know. Some kind of cantrip. I forget what it's called. I think it's Shimmering something. Hopefully it's not a bounce spell. That would be rough. Oh no. Oh no. Am I just going to die this turn? Did I speak too soon? Well, again, I'll fast forward the video a little bit, so. Opponent didn't do too much. They just cast Fae of Wishes. I don't know why they burned a Vizier, though. They could have just played Fae of Wishes because they had 2 mana floating, but in any case, I think we're still on our just shove all the glitters into Silence plan and hope it's good enough. And then next turn we'll definitely go get a snack. Alright, we drew a Springleaf Drum, so we're going to play all that glitters first. Remember, if you play Silence first, you can't play another non-creature spell, so you want to lead on the Silence second. And, yeah, thank you for 9. What's up? 9 ya. And, yeah. Ooh, they're chump blocking. Okay. Alright, take some damage. We do have lethal next turn, because we have the blade, so... Well, we have this too, but we can't cast 2 spells because of the silence, but... Alright, let's pause the video, and then come back when we're either dead or we're not dead, so... I'll see you in a second. Alright, once again, there wasn't much pausing. We are just going to... Yeah, non-creatures, so... Bomat into Michiko's, and that should be more than enough to trample over, because remember, Stonecoil does have trample. That's a lot of damage. Alright, so we have dealt lethal damage to our opponent, and we have completed the 3-2. Let's take a look at the deck list. So, obviously, this deck has some powerful draws. I'm not 100% sure I'm in love with these Shadowspears, because you already have the trample aspect here. I really wish there was another payoff. You know, again, Ingenious Smith is a good card, but I don't think it's good enough. It's slow, right? And the problem with Ingenious Smith in a format like Pioneer versus Modern is Ingenious Smith really gains a lot from having access to Urza Saga to make tokens and artifacts in your opponent's turn. So you don't get a giant Smith as quickly because you don't have access to Urza Saga. And again, it's another payoff that you're missing. So like Ghostfire Blade is a fine card, Shadowspear's fine but medium card, but I feel like these, there has to be a better payoff. I don't know what that is. Maybe something like a Steel Overseer, even though it doesn't pump Smith. Maybe you cut Smith and play more artifact creatures, and then everything is an artifact for Steel Overseer. Let me know in the comments. What do you think of this deck? What would you, anything you would recommend? Because this deck was a lot of fun. A lot of people are playing it, so I wanted to kind of start with one of the maybe more played decks that especially gained definitely a lot from the new set. Michiko's Reign of Truth is a really good card. And yeah, that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.